Coming up in this week's episode.
Look, these things happen, don't they, when you're travelling? You get a little bit of a curveball. Look at that, 79 is back in here at Barossa Offroad for the final part of our preparation here. We are getting the new lighting from Lightforce installed, known as the Beast. This product looks incredible and we can't wait to share that with you as we road test it on our way up to Darwin. So the Adelaide to Darwin route, known as the Explorer's Way, over 3,000 kilometres. That's on the bitumen. However, we're going to be definitely bringing you the majority of this journey off-road. In fact, once we get from Adelaide up through into the Flinders, we'll continue on onto the Oodnadatta Track. This has been a dream of mine since I was a kid, and I heard it in that I've Been Everywhere Man song, and I thought, Oodnadatta, what's the matter? Where is that? Well, we're about to find out. We'll continue on to Marla. We'll come back a little bit of backtrack down to Coober to check in with Noble Tours and also Karen there at Coober Views, and then we'll continue on up back through Marla out to Earl Dundas Station, Curtin Springs, Uluru, Yalara, Kings Canyon, the Olgas, or better known as Catajuda now, and then we're going to be hitting the Morini Loop and on to Alice Springs, the West Max, the East Max, up to Dally Waters, Edith Falls, and then into those spectacular national parks of Kakadu, Litchfield, and then on to Darwin. So it is a huge trip that we've got planned, and a lot of these places as well we've never been, so to be able to get off-road, off-grid, and really put the vehicles through their paces and make the most of this outback epic journey of Australia, we can't wait. Okay, after we've finished here with the lighting, we're also going to have a chat with Ben from Barossa Offroad about the backup plan for a caravan. We'll talk through some comms as well, essential communications devices, some tips and tricks that you'll need if you are doing remote touring around Oz. And then we'll be getting the van for its final part, is the wheel alignment. Had the full service wheel alignment. We've actually got 2 new water filters going in on that as well, and we should be ready to hit the road later in the week, and then back to travel content. We can't wait. All right, let's get into it. Hope you enjoy this part of the journey. Road. How you doing, Ben?
Good, Paul. How are you?
Yeah, so good. I feel like I've been living here, mate.
Yeah, mate. Part of the family now.
So good. It's so good to, I guess, find someone that's reputable, respected, trusted, and that's why we're sharing this guy here, Ben, and his wife Lisa, in their business, Barossa Offroad, because when you're getting around Australia, if you are touring and you're away from your normal mechanic, then it's hard to know where to go.
Yeah,
but we're glad we found you. Obviously, you did the work originally on the Bush Company awning.
Yes, we started with that one.
We absolutely love that.
Yep.
It's so, what we love is that now we can pull up anywhere and you just whip it out in 30 seconds and you're set. Yeah, so you're a supplier for those guys. Another one of our favourites who we love, obviously, Lightforce.
Yes.
Yeah, they're great. In fact, the Beast lights have gone on now,
yep.
So keen to give those a go. But you also do full builds on four-wheel drives?
Yeah, definitely. Anything from the bull bar to the tow bar.
Awesome.
Right through, everything.
Fantastic. And we had our van serviced here as well. We obviously needed to replace those bearings. I had some questions come in around, well, hang on, you've only done 35,000 Ks in that van.
Yep.
Obviously, we've done 60,000 with the four-wheel drive because we do drop and roll.
Yep.
But do you need to really replace those bearings at that point? But what we realised when we pulled out, the seals had completely moved away.
Dislodged themselves.
Yeah, so once we then inspected further, they did need to be replaced. So that hopefully answers. But how long would you normally get out of a bearing, say, in a tandem axle?
Yeah, if you keep up with your services, you get a good life out of them.
Okay.
Repacking them at your
Yeah.
Probably every 12 months.
Okay.
10,000 Ks, we sort of check a service.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're looking after it, you'll get a good life out of them.
Okay, great advice. That's actually what we want to talk about, is a backup plan for your caravan, because we're talking about remote touring around Oz.
Yep.
It really is the dream, because we have the best backyard in the world
for
touring, especially if you want to get off-grid, off-road. Now, we've gone through the vehicle details. I did that a couple of episodes ago, but now we really want to talk about just a couple of tips and tricks from your expert advice that can help travellers. So I'll get out a shot.
All right, no
and
worries.
you can tell us what you've got here, a couple of ideas.
Yeah, so we definitely recommend carrying a couple of spares, starting with bearings. Not necessarily taking a full set, probably just one wheel to get you out of trouble. Now, pre-packing your bearings is the trick.
Ah, that is the trick.
So keeping your hands cleaner and tidy when you're on the road, because you're normally on the dirt.
Yeah.
And we don't want the dirt getting into the bearings.
And I have to be honest, mate, most people would have to do this themselves. They're not going to ask their mechanic, but
No,
look, you've done it for me.
I've done it for you. Yeah.
You're a legend.
Vacuum pack, seal, bearings, everything ready to go with the grease. Is recommended to carry a little tub of grease as well.
Okay.
Just so if there's, a little bit of grease that's missing out of your hub, you can just put a little bit more in there.
And on that, I mean, I'm carrying a little minigun with some lithium grease. Is that good enough?
Grease.
It is.
Yeah,
That's what
so you need the
I thought.
high temperature wheel bearing grease.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's more of a multi-purpose grease. So that can be for your hitch, your swing arms, your bearings, everything.
Okay.
So,
does it come in a small tube that I can fit in a little gun?
You can. Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So specifically called bearing grease.
Bearing grease, yeah.
Higher temperature. High
bearing
pressure.
grease.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Another little trick too, or something to take with you, is a hitch pin.
Right.
Not everybody carries a hitch pin with them, but we have had instances where people have had them go missing. Save a peace of mind, just carry one with you.
Yep.
Or get a lockable one.
Great.
So you can always put a lockable one in there, which will lock it, but then they'll find something else to do.
Okay.
And we can't stop them.
No. Ideally, what you're trying to do is always prevent, but also the longer something takes to do, the less interest people find in wanting to remove it, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Another couple of little spares, so going back to the spares, is maybe a couple of wheel studs.
Yeah, okay, good idea.
Most caravans got a 6 stud. If you go to a cruiser, there could be 5 stud if it's been matched to your vehicle.
Yeah.
But at least carrying three studs to get you out of trouble, because you can run on 3 studs if you're in a remote area. Just need a small centre punch just to help you get the studs in and out. And, maybe a couple of
I don't
wheel
have
nuts
one of
as
these.
well.
So if that goes missing from your work shed, you know who's taking it.
Yeah, exactly right. No worries.
Interestingly, on the 79, Bodie at McCormack's up there, four-wheel drive in Sandgate in Queensland, he makes me carry spare studs for the 79 because he said it is actually something that can happen with that particular vehicle. So I guess different vehicles would have different historically things that may falter.
Yep. And obviously with the 79s, they're a proven vehicle, and people do start to learn what happens with them and what goes wrong. So it gives you guys a good chance to get those sort of spares.
And they're going to be different to the van, aren't they? Yeah, okay. So I'll sort that out.
You might have the same size nut as in 21, 22 mil, but the stud might be slightly different in the thread. So
okay. And you can get away with 3 because you could run just on 3 just to limp you home?
Just to limp you home, just to get you out of trouble. And we're all about weight as well. So you don't want to get this big bag of studs and nuts, which is extra weight.
Yeah, okay. No, really good, mate. And what about for you, off-road touring or getting out there? Where do you take your family? What's your spot?
Look, my favourite spot would have to be the Darling River Run.
Yeah.
Straight up the Darling. Beautiful country, or anywhere on the river, really.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's just peaceful.
Yeah, we haven't done that yet.
Yeah, you got to do it. It's great.
Okay.
We could do it with you.
Yeah, awesome, mate. You could be, our education on the road.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be awesome.
And any final advice for people? I guess for me, it's probably just being on top of your servicing.
Yeah, so with your servicing, don't leave it till the last minute.
Like I did?
Like you did. But it's all good. We got you in. We got it done. Just gives a van that chance to iron out if there is any issues.
Yeah.
Or, we're not all perfect. We may have missed something.
Yeah.
We can get you back straight in, get it fixed, get you on the road and keep your travel safe.
Awesome. Well, I am being very looked after, mate. I really appreciate it. You and Lisa, you run a pretty tight ship here. And then Nigel on your team.
Yeah.
And he's fixing that bloody compressor.
He's over there still working on the car.
That's awesome. All right, mate.
All right.
Safe travels. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
Cheers. Okay, an unscheduled one, this one. Another day at Barossa Offroad. Look, these things happen, don't they, when you're travelling? You get a little bit of a curveball, but really in the scheme of life and what's going on around the world, I think this is a first world problem, that's for sure. But my compressor, twin compressor, it's an ARB compressor, has cooked itself in that one side is getting extremely hot to where, while I was at Beachport, we were doing some beach forward driving where I got bogged, if you remember. Rookie mistake. I got it back, we were off the beach and then go to pump the tyres up and the compressor was intermittent. And then when I started to sort of investigate a bit more, it was ridiculously hot. Yes. Now, not really clear on exactly what the fault is or why, but do know that that's not what is meant to be happening. And certainly when one side of the compressor, the twin compressor, is cool and the other is hot, something's not right. Anyway, under warranty, getting a twin compressor, new one put in, and that'll be sent off and hopefully they'll be able to figure it out and see what was actually wrong with that compressor. But good news is that for us and where we're travelling, it's an absolute necessity, we think. If you're doing any sort of off-road or remote touring around Australia, make sure that you're carrying some kind of compressor to be able to manage your tyre pressures and then obviously in turn drive safely. All right, we'll come back and check how this is going, but it looks like they're almost done. Nigel doing another great job. There it is. What's good about this van, Ben, is that we've got two filters. We've got a dedicated pump and filter for our drinking tap, and it also has a dedicated tank, which is great, which means I don't ever have to worry about contaminating the water, or contaminated water, I should say, coming through my drinking. And then we've got the other filter that you've also changed as part of the 46-point logbook service down there. But an interesting trick, you were just telling me, another tip.
Yeah, so up in the taps, you've got filters inside the tap itself. Mm-hmm. This one here's your main water, and you'll see the green gauze in there, which is a filter. And then the little one in behind, just here, is our fresh water, or our drinking water. If we just get that one loose, then we have a look inside this one. You'll probably see that this one's all blocked up with gunk as well. So we'll give that a bit of a clean out. And you'll have a lot better flow through your tap.
Definitely. I guess if the pressure's building up through the tap being blocked, the head like that, then you actually then put an extra pressure on the pump as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Good
so
point.
People think you got your filter under the bench, you've also got the little filter up the top.
Yeah. And with these particular, it's like a loose carbon filter, I guess.
Yes.
So it's a good idea to run the mains through it for 5 minutes,
yeah,
something like that?
Give that a bit of flush out.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. You will see some black carbon discharge from the filter come through.
Yeah.
Probably best to pop this off, do that without this on.
Yeah.
And then you know you've got it clean.
Awesome. Great, thank you, mate. Smety's Mechanical, okay, we picked the 79 up, 160,000 kilometres, and geez, isn't this an expensive one? But the guys here actually look after you. So what I love about it is that they were so thorough in checking absolutely everything, not only in the logbook, but they went across the whole vehicle because they know that we're doing a trek from Adelaide to Darwin. So I asked them to be, you know, extra attention to suspension, to the brakes, to the hubs, to the seals, just make sure that we're fully covered with all of the different oils and all the different lubricants to make sure that everything was fresh and working. They also did the power steering, they did the transfer case, diff, I mean, you name it, they covered it. And what is great is that they did it all in the one day and they got me in and we're off on the road tomorrow. Now it's time for me to go and hook up the van, pick that up from over there at Ben at Barossa's, hopefully get a good night's sleep, pack up, check everything, and we'll be on the road.
up of communications. Now, if you're planning on travelling to the more remote regions around Australia, then there's one thing that we consider just as important as knowing where your water supplies are, and that is communications. And having the tools to ensure your safety, and if you do run into trouble, then you can get yourself out of it, or at least make contact to get some help. Now, there are some devices that we'll talk through that we think are must-haves for every single traveller, and then we'll also mention a couple of others that we have. Some would consider them luxuries perhaps, but we also include them in our touring communications setup and use them all the time as well. Let's start with probably the most important one that we would consider, and that is a personal satellite device. Now, these come in various different products. There are single-use products, the EPIRBs. There are land-based and water-based different products as well. We have the Garmin InReach Mini. Now, we were recommended this by our good mate Tony from Australian 4x4 Treks when we very first met him, over 3 years ago in Rockhampton. And he is a full drive instructor and also runs remote tag-alongs across some amazing places in this country, and he recommended the Garmin to us, so that's why we got it. Now, great things about this are the cost. It's very low cost, or what we consider anyway. We picked ours up for around $500. It's in that mid-range, and honestly, what you get by having one of these, even just in the knowledge that you've got this little guy in your kit, is so much more valuable than that outlay. Now, we're not affiliated with Garmin at all, but we absolutely love this little guy. Some of the great features about this one is that aside from the SOS function, which you hope you never have to use, it also has the ability to send text messages, and you can preset those. So they could be, we've arrived safely at camp, please send help, send a tow truck, anything like that. It means that you can stay in touch with your loved ones if you are in a region or area where there's no mobile or cellular service. The other really cool feature about this is that if you love hiking, like we do, then you can take this with you. It's portable. It only weighs a few 100 grams. You can clip it straight onto your backpack. You can have your friends and family track you as you travel. So that's just a really cool, fun feature. It does have the SOS feature, of course. What we love about this is that we are on what's called a Freedom subscription plan. It's a monthly plan, but we can switch it on and off depending on where we're traveling. So when we're heading remote, we turn it on. It costs us $25 a month for the privilege of having this little guy in the vehicle and on our backpacks, knowing that if we get into trouble, we can get out of it. And then when we're heading back into more populated areas, the east coast of Australia, we switch it off and we don't pay any monthly fee. So super cool, an absolute must-have product when you're touring remotely. The second one, of course, would be a UHF radio, and in fact, a couple of UHF radios would be our recommendation. Now, this one is a Uniden. Again, we don't work with them. This is a 5-watt handheld. This is awesome. Now, we have a wired UHF in the vehicle that Paulie uses when he communicates when we're towing or traveling in the 79. This one is great. We can use this if we are pulling into a camp somewhere, again, where there's no cellular or mobile phone service. We can communicate together on the radios and I can back him in safely into a camp. It's also really great if Paul and Jasper go off exploring. Again, if we're in one of those remote places, they can take this with them and still stay in contact with me, because we've also got a little 2-watt version. Now, this one is a great kids little radio, and Jasper loves playing with this, but a really great tip from us would be, if you are traveling with children, no matter what their age, let them have one of these. Let them play with it. Let them get used to communicating on the radio and how the functions work, because if for whatever reason you need to call for help or get somebody's attention on the radio and the adults cannot physically get to a radio. If your kids know how to operate these, then that could be a life-saving situation. So they're really fantastic. And having one wired in your car or a handheld, if that's what you've got, is great. Really, really important, again, to be able to have those radios on and communicating with other heavy vehicles, truckies on the road. In fact, we just recently did an episode all around road safety. We filmed it at the Caravan Camping Show in SA. And Paulie gave a run through of exactly how he deals with communicating with truckies on the road, you know, the channels that you should be sitting on, the best way to communicate, and also how he manages towing when he is getting approached or overtaken by those really large road trains and trucks that are on the road as well. So that's one worth checking out if you are planning on heading remote and, you know, just wanting to know what others do. That's a great episode, and you can find that on our YouTube channel, and we'll pop the link in the description for that below as well. So they would absolutely be the essentials. Now, there are some other devices that we would suggest, you know, to look at. Mobile phones these days are amazing, particularly if you run one of the latest versions of an Apple iPhone. They now have that SOS feature that will do a satellite call if you are in an emergency and you don't require cellular service. I'm not 100% sure about the Android phones and whether they have that feature as well, but we run Apples and so they do. You could look at a satellite phone, however, they are fairly expensive. Paul has used those before in various jobs prior to us hitting the road out in remote regions, and they work great, but obviously there is a higher cost that comes with those. And you can kind of cover your bases without needing a sat phone with this other gear. And Starlink would be the other one that some would consider a luxury, but we consider an absolute must for various reasons. I think the one thing that gets overlooked with Starlink, outside of the fact that you can set up and have super quick, really reliable, high-speed internet anywhere around the country and like in 5 minutes, is that if you are stuck remotely and there's something mechanically wrong with your vehicle, or you know, you do need emergency services, you set the Starlink up, you can make a phone call through the Wi-Fi from your phone. You can contact your mechanic, like Paul has numerous times, calling Bodie McCormack up there in Sandgate to say, I don't really know what I'm doing, can you give me a hand? So Starlink has a really great purpose when it comes to safety and communications as well. Now, something else to consider when you are going remotely is to really think about evacuation plans. And again, in the communication space, speak with your travelling partners, your family members. A lot of these remote places and tracks are one road in, one road out. And so it's just good to think of, you know, what would our emergency evacuation plan be? How would we get out of here if we needed to in a hurry? On that, in our Travelling Australia eBook, The Ultimate Guide, we have some really great templates and checklists as well that you can pre-populate with your own information. But there is an emergency evacuation plan in there. There is a grab bag template on what you can pack to make sure that you've got something quick and easy to grab and go if you need to. So lots of really great stuff in that ebook, and you can check that out on our website. I think that's it, Paulie, isn't it?
I think you nailed it. Wowzers. So good, Katie.
If I've forgotten anything, then I'll pop it in a blog and I'll pop it up on our website over the coming weeks. But a really good roundup of just some easy, fairly low-cost gear that, you know, will save you so much stress and headaches on your travels.
Safe travels.
Yeah, awesome. Oh, and now for those of you who are out there enjoying this Easter long weekend, we hope that you stay safe, travel safe, relax, eat lots of chocolate. And here's Jasper with some really great fun recipes that the kids or the grandkids can make to keep them entertained over the long weekend. So you can put your feet up and have a beverage or two.
And next week, season 8, baby.
Yes. Long time coming.
Mwah.
Woo!
Love it.
I need to improve on my trumbo sounds. Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Jasper's Great Adventures. And welcome back to to Season 2. Woohoo! Now let me ask you a question. Do you like Easter eggs? Oh, and here's another one. Do you love chocolate? Then you're gonna love this Easter adventure! Happy Easter, everyone! These are my 3 easy DIY favourite treats just for kids. Okay, our first recipe is, drum roll please, no-bake bunny biscuits. First step, biscuits onto a tray with baking paper. Okay, now you can spread them out however you want in a certain pattern. And getting ready for step 2, spreading out the chocolate. Safety announcement! Step 2 is definitely not a kid's job. It's an adult's job, so I'm getting my mum. Mom! I know what's missing. Ha! Now you're Easter-fied. It's time for us to melt the chocolate. Now for the fun bit, spreading the chocolate. Okay, how good did these look? Now it's time for some sprinkles. Sounds like a musical instrument.
Whoa. Jasper. Whoa.
It's a light colour. Okay, it's time to put some ears on a bunny, because what's a bunny without ears? Well, it's time to do that step. Let me grab these. As you can see, Mum has cut these little clinkers in half, and we are going to get some melted white chocolate. You can actually use any chocolate, but we are using white chocolate. And just stick them on, and then you have the perfect little ears. And I'm going to do a pink one for you, Mum. Okay. Okay, how good did these guys look? It's time to put them in the fridge, and it's on to our next recipe. Easter joke time! What is the Easter Bunny's favourite music? Hip-hop. Okay, everybody knows the Easter Bunny for his eggs over there, his ears, and, of course, his cottontail. Let's make the Easter Bunny's very own little cottontails, just for you to eat. This is super simple, super delicious, and we've already got our melted chocolate melted. Number 1, grab a fork and stab the marshmallow. Number 2, just a reminder, the chocolate is hot. Number 2 is dip it in here. Okay, then when it's fully covered, you're going to take it out, and then you're just going to roll it all around.
Good job.
And voila.
Yeah.
Tastes pretty good. Look at all these bunny tails. Wowzers, I want to just stick them on here and make me a bunny. Okay, let's put them in the fridge with our other little friends. Easter joke time! How do you know that carrots are good for your eyesight? Ever seen an Easter bunny wearing glasses? Definitely not. And now for the grand finale. Chocolate Easter egg nests. And a quick reminder, you can download these recipes and more at my website, jasperu.com.au. Now let's get this party started. Okay, I've got Mum back and she's going to melt some dark chocolate. Thank you, Mum, and a little bit of butter. Okay, let's chuck the chocolate in there. And don't forget the butter. Right off. Okay, Mum's going to help with this bit. She's just going to chuck some fried noodles in and some shredded coconut. Stir it, stir it, stir it. It's starting to look like a bird's nest.
I think we need some more coconut as well.
Ooh, okay. I'm just going to have
In it goes. Perfect, that's heaps. Good boy.
Stir it, stir it, stir it. Okay, it's time for the finishing touches. Mum, you can make the nests and I'll look after the eggs. I get so excited. My favourite is green, so I'm going to start with a pea green and an orange. Boop, boop.
Let's press them in there.
Can roll away eggs.
Yeah, perfect.
Now I'm going to do some red, some pinkish, and some green with a little scratch on it.
Grandad's going to love these ones.
Yes, he sure definitely will. Okay, now for the last few eggs and speckled egg. And
They look so good.
okay, you can put them in the fridge. And I am going to have one myself. Of course, green. Easter joke time! What happens if you tell a joke to an Easter egg? It cracks up. Because you actually crack an egg. Get it? Ooh, I'm so excited. Mom, we're ready. Ooh. Oh, wowzers. I think I'm going to go for the bunny biscuit.
Perfect.
What are you having, Dad?
I'm going to go for one of these little nests. Cheers!
That is good. Everybody should try these. These are the best. I hope you have a happy Easter and the Easter Bunny brings you lots of chocolate. Bye! Chocolate. Woohoo! Oh, I'm a booyah man. Oh, I'm a funny, yummy, tummy, whiny booyah man. Uh-huh. That was too much. I'm gonna be a chocolate monster. Nom, 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 nom. I could just do this. Thanks for watching Jasper's Great Adventures. If you like my video, give me a thumbs up. If you loved it, subscribe. Take care of each other, and I'll see you soon for some more adventures. Bye!
Thanks for watching. Please do like, subscribe and share our channel. And if you'd like more information on full-time RV travel and living, visit our website, thefeelgoodfamily.com. There you'll find loads of free resources, our weekly podcast, caravan cooking recipes, our monthly magazine articles and much more. We look forward to seeing you next week. Take care of yourself and your family and happy trails.